that's the music that was going through my house. Now when I started buying records, I mixed in some Grover Washington and
right.
some of the pop stuff and funk stuff from that era. But he was he just wanted me to hear the masters of this music, and so he's real big on tone. What do you sound like, and what kind of ideas do you? He's always interested in you telling a story when you play, and so he was a big influence and still is on me. Whenever we're in the same city, I always have him play with me, and he's a fantastic musician as well. So he started me, and then of course I listened to a lot of the old music from the past, and then transitioned into listening to Grover and David Sanborn and Kirk Whalum, and there's so many great musicians out there.
You sure are. So actually, your father was a major thing that happened in your development.
Right, in the early years, yes.
Yes, and so the later years, you give us something major that helped in your development?
Well, I'd say Bernard Wright was a big influence, even though he didn't play sax.
Mm-hmm.
Just his concepts of theory and his concepts of how to put music together. He was a great help as far as improvisation to me. Listening to people like David Sanborn, who's influenced so many saxophonists, Kirk Whalum. I'd say Wayman was a big influence because Wayman was a great entertainer, but he also really played. All the nights I was with him, I never heard him play anything that wasn't coming from his heart.
Oh,
He played, so because of that, I learned a lot, and the way you feel things, the way you express a melody, a lot of those ideas he influenced me in that way, and so did someone like Kirk Whalum, who can of course take a melody and play incredibly well.
Yeah,
so there were many influences. Plus, I was still listening to the old music, the standards. I was still listening to those guys.
Do you believe that various styles of music affect your style?
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everybody, to me, I even tell my students, it's almost like everybody has their own soup. You have a collection of ideas and concepts that make up your musical language. Other people may add different ingredients to what you do, but it still should be your own distinct sound as much as possible. But you can definitely be influenced by others, you can learn from others, and others can help you grow. I don't think any musician is an island. I think we're built on what has gone before us, and then I think we're influenced by what's going on around us.
That's very true, very true. Do you technically train yourself to prepare for a performance now?
Oh, yes. I mean, we were just talking about practicing concepts with a student that I had here. I definitely believe in doing as much training as possible, honing your craft, treating it with respect. Music is something that takes years to develop. I'm still a student of it. I'm still learning it. I remember reading an article about David Sanborn in his 40s years ago, and he was talking about he was still a student of music and of the saxophone, and I believe that. I think it's ongoing. And so there's times that you have to pull away and really prepare yourself, and I think that has a lot to do with helping you to deliver a fantastic performance. Then that's what I tell young people all the time when I do clinics or master classes. What you do in secret, the preparation is very critical to what people see on stage. They just see the final result. They see oh man, it was a great show, but they don't see the hours behind the scenes, and that's important, that they know that there's a price to play, there's pay, there's discipline, and there's work that goes into artistry.
Yes, indeed. You know, I was looking at I pulled up your father's bio too, and learned that you had a sister as a musician, and that you were a track star and summa cum laude, and valedictorian, you're something else. But when you first started out as a musician, did you think about having doubts about being successful when you started out?
Oh yes, because music doesn't have guarantees. Arts in general don't have guarantees in the sense that for instance, I was talking to my wife about that one day, that if you go to med school and you get your medical degree and you pass your residency and you pass your bar, you can practice medicine. And it has its challenges, just like any profession, but you are a doctor, you will practice medicine if you pass all of those things. But musicians, you may get a music degree, you may be a great player, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get to do what you want to do on the level that you want to do it.
Okay.
It doesn't guarantee it. Because there's so many great musicians and there's only so many openings to do that. And a lot of it has to do with being in the right place at the right time, knowing the right people. It's a lot of factors that go into it. I know, like when I watch my wife loves American Idol, and we made the joke. I said, I think I could drive downtown right now and hear several American people that could sing rings around those folks.
That's right.
But they didn't get the break, or they didn't get seen, or they didn't get heard. So there are no guarantees in it. So yes, there's a feeling of uncertainty. I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel God had called me to it, because it's hard. It's frustrating. I love it, but it can be very difficult at times.
What is your advice, since you were talking about younger people? I guess you did give your advice a few minutes ago to young and